Welcome to a very, very special episode of ABQ Sports Crew as we celebrate our 6th birthday. We've been doing this for 6 years. My name is Elijah Esquivel. Josh will be here in a very short minute, and Adam Nish is out today, but we wish him well as he is watching in spirit, and he's very sad he's missing the show today, but we have a very, very good show planned for you today. It's, again, 6 years we started this. This very mic, actually first there was a mic hanging from a chandelier and there was like four of us on a kitchen table talking sports, and now we've come to having video and adding more crew people, adding Adam to the crew, adding Jen and everyone else, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I couldn't be happier to be celebrating our 6th
Happy
birthday
to us. Oh man, look at this.
Look at that cake, the very special cake. Thank you to Sandra for making the cake to celebrate our birthday, and we are going to
dig into that.
Destroy that cake once the show is over. But thanks again for watching today and for watching any other day. A lot to talk about today, Josh. A lot to talk about.
Sorry, let me get my mic set up here and get rolling.
All right, well, Josh is getting set up.
I have to fill in like 3 roles because usually we have Jen here as well, our producer. So I'm trying to like do 3 roles at once. But thank you again, everybody. Yeah, I mean, 6 years ago, it all started with the boy in a dream, and started with the microphone over a chandelier, an old laptop, and I moved on to this guy.
When we got this guy, that was like the next step up. It was like, man, we're making it. We're making it big when we got this guy, because we put this in the middle of the table and it was able to pick up sound a lot more than having this old microphone hanging from a chandelier.
Yeah.
And plus it just looks like a radio mic. So we really, this was kind of the difference maker, and it lasted us a few years.
This went for 4 years. It was our show. It was it went with us to Albuquerque Downs. Remember we did horse racing events?
Oh yeah.
This has gone with us to Lobo hockey. Like, this was like the foundation. This mic has seen it all. And
you know what? Before we get started here, a special thanks to the crew. Now we have me, Josh, and Adam,
and Jen.
We're gonna recognize, and even Aaron helping us out a lot too. But we're gonna recognize some of the old crew members. We have Mundo. He'll be calling in. Mundo and Izzy. Josh, myself, Mundo, and Izzy were the original 4. We had the very first show 6 years ago. So we've appreciated them helping. Again, Mundo will be calling in. We've had Corey, we've had Izzy, we've had Matt and Noel Baca coming in. Nikki will be giving us a call. Rick, LA Rick helping us out until he moved to California, and that's when he became Rick to LA Rick, giving us all the California news. But all of you who have been on the show, and especially all you who have been watching the show since the beginning, big thanks to you all, because I know there's some of you out there who remember just listening to us on Blog Talk Radio before they got to see our mugs on TV.
Do you remember when it was just 30 minutes long?
30 minutes long?
30 minutes
with the commercial.
With the commercial.
With the commercial.
Yeah, we had a Blog Talk Radio commercial, and I just can't believe it's been 6 years, man, and just to see what we've grown to. And you know, we were on for a year. I think we were on PlayStation Network, and we were at the Ustream. Then we were on Facebook Live when we started this up again. But, I mean, we got to move on. But just again, like Elijah said, thank you to all of you. And don't forget, at the end of the year, we're going to have a best of video. We won't have a live show on the December 30th, but we'll have a best of. That way you guys can take a look at all of our goofs. Screw ups. And
times we had fun. It's been a great year.
Yeah, but we got to get into business. But there's been just so much. We didn't have a show last week, but I did post our first ever show last week. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This week we got to catch up because there has been NFL news that went on today. It was a crazy week 14 in the NFL today. We had upsets. We had just teams losing that we thought shouldn't be losing, and we got to get into business. So we got to get down to it. But the first thing we need to talk about is probably one of the most important things that happened while we were away, and that was Kareem Hunt being thrown off the Kansas City Chiefs. He was suspended by the NFL. So let's get into that. That's the topic of discussion right now, because you saw how much now the Chiefs are hurting without Kareem Hunt.
Well, obviously one of the star players of their team, and a huge just turn of events, right? Mm-hmm. We hear that there's a video out, and then it's like, okay, then you see the video, and again, the league knew about this prior to the season. Apparently, Kareem Hunt wasn't fully truthful of kind of what happened to it, but we see the video and you're like, oh, here we go again. Ray Rice again, right? It doesn't look good regardless of the situation, right? We've been through this before. No need to harp on it again. I mean, you just don't punch somebody, right? You don't do, especially when you're so much bigger than somebody.
Yep.
And then we hear, okay, I'm sorry. Then we hear, okay, now he's suspended, right? Okay. And the next thing you know, the Chiefs cut him. And you're just like, whoa, this got serious, because you think this guy's one of their best players, top 3 players of their team. And they just said, nope, you weren't truthful with us either. We're going to cut you. And it was just like, talk about a 180 for him. He was riding high with one of the best teams in the NFL, and now he's a free agent. And
I don't think he'll ever be picked up again.
Who knows if a team's going to pick him up? We saw what happened to Ray Rice. Nobody really picked him up after that, although he was more on the decline of his career. We'll see now Kareem Hunt, but a lot of baggage and a lot of controversy coming if you want to pick him up, and we'll see what happens.
I don't think it's going to happen. The reason why, we saw what happened to Ray Rice. And if you saw the video, for those of you that didn't know what happened to Kareem Hunt, he was in Cleveland back in, I think, February. I think this happened, February, March. And he was in a hotel, and he got in an altercation with a young female. They went back and forth. He shoved a guy into her, and she fell down. She must have jawed something off to him. He went over there and gave her a full 40-yard field goal kick. Like it was just like a kick to the side. You just see her like just sitting there. The one thing that gets me though, and so many of you probably thinking out there, why the NFL knew about this.
Yeah.
They knew this happened, but until the video footage was released, then they decided to take action.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, I mean, time and time again, how many times have we seen the NFL get this wrong?
Yeah.
So many times when it comes to domestic abuse, they try to be the forefront, the leaders, they try to be the arbiters, the judge and jury, and it has proved them to be wrong every single time. Granted, we don't know what happened. Again, the NFL and the Chiefs said he wasn't truthful. So without a video, you only can go off word of mouth, right? Yeah. And if he's saying one thing and they have corroborating with his friends, people who were there, I don't know what happened, but they didn't get it right again. Again, they failed on this, and it's just one of those things that I don't know what the NFL is going to do, because when it comes to domestic abuse, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. If there's a video, it's definitely not okay, because then it puts a kind of an eerie look on the NFL. But I don't know. But
what do you think? Do you think he'll find a job with an NFL team?
I actually think he will, because there's
a New York Football Jets.
There's a lot of teams out there, and I'm not making light of this. There's a lot of teams out there who need a running back, and he's a good running back. Like I said, Ray Rice didn't get on a team, but he was already on the decline of his career. Yeah. He was not a 1,000-yard rusher. He was not doing that good. Kareem Hunt is on the incline of his career. And so he's a hot free agent right now. Granted, I think definitely not this season, but I think sometime next season, come week 4, week 5, someone doesn't have somebody, you kind of bring them on, and hopefully that, you're going to hear a lot of crap for about 2 weeks, but then eventually, like with everything in the NFL, it goes away, right? Ray Rice goes away, Kaepernick, it goes away. Right. Everything just kind of, all the things that kind of the sideshows of the NFL, they go away. Because then there's going to be the next topic, right? And
there'll be somebody else to punch
somebody else is going to do something dumb or something great, and then they're going to forget about it.
Yeah. But we got to move on. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. We'll have Mundo Carrillo. Like I said, he was one of our founding members. He's going to call in just a little bit, so we got to get as too much as we can. We'll start with Thursday night here in NFL Week 14. It was the Titans over the Jaguars, 30-9. Then we move on to today's games. How about this, Elijah? The Browns over the Panthers, 26-20. You had the Chiefs in overtime with the Ravens, 27-24. The Colts stopping the Houston Texans winning streak as they beat them 24-21 today. The Dolphins on a miracle play. It's a miracle. Like
the Miami miracle.
The Miami miracle. Last play of the game.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah,
it looks like it's going to be one of those plays that we see the laterals, and it always ends up being a wreck. A lineman gets it. No, this worked out really well, and they won the game.
Who's the one to blame? Rob Gronkowski. He tripped and fell on his own shoelaces. But anyway, we got to get going. The Giants steamrolled the Redskins today, 40-16. The Saints squeaking by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 28-14. The Packers, after firing Mike McCarthy, get their first win, 34-20 over the Falcons. The Jets squeak by the Bills, 27-23. The Chargers squeak by the Bengals, 26-21. The 49ers upsetting the Broncos, 20-14. Cowboys winning on a but a tip pass touchdown in overtime.
We'll take it.
Amari Cooper playing lights out. The Raiders shocking the world, beating the Steelers 24-21. And the Lions beating the Cardinals 17-3. And as we currently speak, the Lions and the Bears are tied at 3.
Rams and the Bears.
Rams and Bears. Did I say that?
You said the Lions and the Bears.
My bad.
Rams and Bears.
Rams and Bears.
Tied at 3.
Tied at 3. So, there's a lot to talk about. Let's go with Thursday night real quick. Derrick Henry was a beast. Did you see that?
Run of the year, right?
99 yards.
I don't know if you call it run of the year or bad tackling of the year, but ran through that guy. It was
244 yards.
Beast mode 2.0. Stiff arming guys, throwing them to the ground like they're little kids. That run was incredible. That game was one-sided, to say the least. It was kind of what you expect in the old Thursday night football games. Kind of a snooze fest, but Derrick Henry, fantasy owners who started him.
47 points. If you're in the NFL, 47 points. That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, that's pretty much he locked down W's for a lot of people.
Yeah.
When your first guy drops almost a 50 burger on you for fantasy.
We'll move on. We got just real quick, the Titans, though. Derrick Henry, for those of you playing Madden, he went from an 87 stiff arm rating to a 99. So that was in the new updates.
Upgrade.
But the Browns beating the Panthers today, 26-20. Baker Mayfield playing lights out. I think he was a little hyped over his buddy Kyle Murray from winning the Heisman. So,
exactly.
So he was excited, and they got the win. The Panthers were looking to this win because it was a very important win for their playoff hunt. But the Browns were like, hold on here. We gotta beat you here because
6-2, 6-3, and then you
now
lose
it's just 5 straight.
6-7, 6-2, sitting pretty on top of your division, and then now you're just taking a big crap. Yep.
The Chiefs and Ravens. We were talking about the presence of Kareem Hunt gone now. It went into overtime today, and Lamar Jackson looking decent.
If there's any doubt, remember we thought that Joe Flacco, they were talking about him possibly coming back. And again, I don't know why you would bring him back. Your season's done.
Yeah.
Start your new guy. He's hot. And he played really well. He almost beat one of the best teams in the NFL right now. And he had a solid game. 13 for 24, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, nothing incredible, but a game that you almost won. Sometimes that's all you need is just a very solid, basic, safe game. And he did really well. So they have to be happy in Baltimore about their young quarterback.
Let me tell you something, though, about the run game in Kansas City. You saw the presence of Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball a lot more. He was 35 of 53.
Yeah.
Those aren't his usual numbers. Yeah, against the Rams, I think he threw for like 60 pass attempts. But other than that, he's throwing usually between 30 and 40 pass attempts. He got bumped up. But we're going to have to take a break real quick from this because we have a special caller in the studio now. And we're going to go live to Mundo Carrillo, who is one of our first ever, or was our first ever show.
Yep.
And we are now live with Mundo Carrillo. Mundo, happy birthday, bud, on the ABQ Sports Crew. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. It's good to hear your voice, man. It's been 6 years, man, since you helped us start this thing. And
right.
Oh, man.
And the more important question, how about them Chargers?
Dude, this is the best they've been in a long time. They're not Super Bowl worthy. I think the Chiefs and Rams and the Saints have got that locked down, but they're pretty good, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, very, very exciting time to be a Charger fan, and I can't remember the last time Charger fans have been excited about anything, but this season has definitely been a turnaround, and they've been playing about as good as you can play.
Yeah, how about them Cowboys?
I don't know what to say about my Cowboys, man. They're oh my goodness, they give me heart attacks. That's all I know.
Yeah, so Mundo, let's talk about when you decided to join the ABQ Sports Crew, because we want to do like a little memory thing. And I remember posting it on Facebook, and you were actually the first one to comment back, and you were upset with me why I didn't invite you first, because you said this was your thing because you were working for KRQE, I think, at the time.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was going to school to be I was trying to be a sports writer. So yeah, and I was working at KRQ and Night for Rock too.
Yep.
And I was like, Josh, like, how dare you, like, not hit me up for this? You know what I mean? So yeah, I was like, yeah, that's the trip. That was like over 6 years ago.
Jeez, man. And remember the first show? We had the microphone over the chandelier. You had your laptop out. I think you were the only one prepared. I think Elijah had his iPad. But
I remember Mundo being mildly upset that we didn't really have a 30-minute show prep before, because he came with notes and we all just kind of showed up with our phones, just like with the scores on him, and he was like, "Are we taking this serious or not?" He kind of set the tone right from the get-go.
Yeah. Bro, what was I just finished telling you guys, bro? I'm a professional. I do.
So Mundo, tell us what you've been up to since you had to leave ABQ Sports Crew. Tell everybody what you've been up to, man.
Well, I got my first job as a sports writer for the Santa Fe New Mexican. I believe the crew was happy about that. And then that ended, and then I got a job with the Albuquerque Journal covering crime and courts and all that good stuff up in Santa Fe. So still doing that, man. It's keeping me busy.
Oh man, Mundo, you were with us for what, about a year?
About a year, and speaking, if I could tell a quick story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking about that, that microphone hanging over the chandelier and all that, and we put the word out to Facebook and stuff that we were doing this, and so we got like friends and family to listen in. And then I remember, I'm sure you guys remember this too, where someone actually called into the show, and we were like, you Josh's cousin, dog, get out of here. And he's like, no, like I actually like listened to the show. We're just like, dude, whatever, man. Like no one actually listens to this show.
Yeah.
So like that was like a cool moment of like, wow, like we actually like started building an audience. You know what I mean? Like an actual, like people like actually were tuning in, and that was pretty cool.
Was that the dude that was from like Indianapolis or
Yeah,
something? And it was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I'm from Indianapolis. I listen to you guys all the time. And we're like, wait, what? Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, like nah, get out of here, man. He's like, no, for real. I'm like, whoa, snap.
Oh man, but
yeah, that was
that was a memory and a half. Yeah, man, you brought that back, man. I played the old footage, and it's just like we were so unorganized. Like we had Izzy doing score updates, and I think you, like I said, you were the only one prepared. Like you were just throwing down stats and all this, and we just looked at you like you're running the show, dude. But is that your favorite memory, or do you have another one for the fans out there?
No, it's just it was just kind of cool that we got like together and just like we just we were already like a group of friends before that, right? And we just always like got together and we would talk sports and all that. And then we actually, I think you obviously had the bright idea to just actually like put it on the radio or put it on the internet or whatever. And that's all it was just like a bunch of friends like talking about sports and talking smack to each other. And I thought that and that was like part of the thing. It's like, yeah, like we're all friends, and yeah, we kind of rip on each other, we rip on each other's teams and all that stuff. So it was just fun, man. And honestly, I do kind of miss it. I miss you guys. I miss everybody. But it was just fun, man. And I can't believe it's been 6 years.
I know, man. And I think one of my fondest memories was you and Izzy arguing over player safety.
Yes.
Yeah. Player safety was always your thing.
To school. That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Dude, that was always the biggest thing.
I love you, Izzy.
All right. But Mundo, we gotta let you go, man. But thank you for helping us start this, helping us start something new. And dude, there's always an open door for you here at ABQ Sports Crew. And whenever you're in town, you gotta let me and Elijah know, and we'll let you know whenever we head to Santa Fe, man, because we miss you, man.
Absolutely. I love that you guys keeping the show going, man. Take it easy.
All right, Mundo. Take care, man.
Buddy.
Love you.
Better.
Man.
Yeah, I just to kind of go on that. Yeah, just to kind of go back on that. I mean, when we kind of had the show going for a while, we had Mundo, we had Izzy, and then later on we got Corey, but we had the Baca Bros going. We had like 6 people in the crew. And there was even sometimes, I remember we would have it in the garage in the heat of summer where we're all there just in tank tops, sweating to death, having the show, but we would have just such great banter because we all have different teams. I mean, Izzy and I were the only ones that were Cowboy fans. We had Matt, who was a Philly fan, and Charger fan.
Hey, buddy, how about them Philadelphia?
So we had Charger, Broncos, same division. Philly, Cowboys, same division. And then you had, later on, Corey came with the Patriots. And this was back when the Manning-Brady thing was going on. And it was just like, it was everybody going against everybody. But those were the best shows. Is when it was just a fun... It's like, typical friends just ripping each other, and you do one-liners, and it was hilarious when you'd have like these one-liners.
I think when Mundo left, that's when Adam decided to come onto the show, because I think that's when because like I said, there was one show I remember, we had ladies' night, remember?
Yeah.
There was literally 15 of us surrounding this microphone alone. Like, this microphone had to do it all by itself, and it got all of us, and Ladies Night was actually one of our biggest shows.
It really was. Yep.
I remember so many downloads from that, and it's just I miss it sometimes, man. I miss the old crew. I miss Matt getting heated with Rick, and then Mundo getting heated with Izzy about player safety, but that's what friends did. Like, we were literally bickering at each other all night, and it was just cracked up jokes.
You would think that they hated each other, and then once the mic was over, it's like, oh, dude, that was a good show.
We were high-fiving each other.
Show. Like, it just, like, we played it so well where it was just, again, friends having fun. And
I missed that guy from Indianapolis, though. He was always so excited to call.
What was his name? Something Wood.
Wood, yeah.
Dogwood or something. He would call us, and he was from Indianapolis.
He would brag about the Colts all the time, remember?
Yeah.
He was so happy that Peyton Manning left, and they got Andrew Luck.
That was just when Andrew Luck got started there in Indianapolis. So.
Oh, man. But speaking of Indianapolis, they stopped the Houston Texans' winning streak. It was at what, 8 in a row?
Yeah.
8, 9? And so Andrew Luck.
9. They stopped 9 games. I'm pretty sure the winning streak started with Indianapolis too, if I remember correctly. But Andrew Luck having a huge game, and now
399 yards passing.
It's kind of one of those. Houston's one of those teams, right? That even when they're good every year, nobody thinks they're going to go far, right?
No.
It's kind of like the Bengals, right? We've seen this song and dance before, and now that they've kind of lost, they lost this one. See how quick. People like us are going to go, oh, okay, now they're garbage, right? They won 9, now they're garbage, right? They're still a great team. We'll see what happens with that division. I mean, still.
Well, the Houston Texans have always been, they're the Cincinnati Bengals, pretty much.
Yeah.
Every time they get in the playoffs, not to choose the Texans.
First round.
Unless they're playing each other, which has happened before.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's been the Texans that get by. But the next round, they ain't going anywhere. So we'll see what this year has in store for them. The Colts, though, are going to be the one, I think the Titans are 7-6 as well. So we have two teams in the AFC South who are 7-6 and just 2 games behind the Texans. So the only thing is my concern about the Colts is they have no run game.
Yeah.
Mack went for 33 yards today.
They're just going to rely on Luck heaving it. And, I mean, they had T.Y. Hilton. They were lucky he had a huge game, but he was a questionable decision from that injury last week.
Yeah.
But, no. And if you don't have a run game, it's just at some point the defense can just – I mean, they know what you're going to do, right? It's going to be tough for them. But, I like Andrew Luck, man.
Dude,
he's just the nice guy.
Remember the Colts campaign before they had him? Suck for luck?
Yeah.
Suck for luck.
Yeah.
The next one is I wish Adam was here because you definitely would be hearing something from him. The Dolphins and the Patriots. For those of you that did not watch this game, like Elijah said earlier, you got to go back and watch it. It's the last play of the game. And guys, you know what happens on last play games. You see the laterals that go back and forth. Player usually drops it, fumbles it, gets hit out of bounds.
It works one every 200 times, and we just happen to get
one today.
That time today.
It was a pass over the middle from Ryan Tannehill. He hit one of his receivers. He lateraled it backwards to one. It started with Kenny Stills. It started with Stills and went to another receiver. That receiver got hit, and when he was being hit, he passed it back to Kenyon Drake. And Drake took off up the sideline, and he was gone. There was one person that could have stopped him. They had Rob Gronkowski in the game, just in case they were trying to throw a Hail Mary.
Like the hands team.
You see him going for it. It looks like it's going to be a good tackle. Right when he gets to the 10-yard line, trips.
He had the angle. He turned around and stumbled, and that stumble was the half a step that they needed. And it was there. They were throwing back and forth, and he's on the sideline. And then he just takes off. You think that he's going to throw it, and I think he realized, like, oh, crap, like, there's a wide open hole. And he went, and it was just like, oh, my gosh, did they really pull that off? Like, again, we never see that, right? We think of the Rams or the Titans, when the Titans pulled that off a few years ago. And then they almost did it again, and they lost the Super Bowl to the Rams. But, I mean, we don't see that very often with the laterals and kind of just everybody just kind of going at it. They did a good job, and they deserved that win.
Yeah, and that brings a closer race in the AFC East because now the Patriots fall to 9-4, which that's still their division, but
they're going to win.
They're going to win it. So Patriot fans don't worry.
It gets a little closer though.
But now the Dolphins are just 2 games back and in a playoff hunt. So in a little bit, me and Elijah are going to do a segment, and I was thinking about putting the Dolphins on this list. Are they contenders or are they pretenders? Like.
Pretenders. We all know that, right? It's the Dolphins.
Dolphins
are like the lower version of the Bengals for the AFC. Like, they're going to be decent for like the first 4 games of the year, and then they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I want to know what you think. What's been happening to the New Orleans Saints? They're not the scoring machines that they've been lately. Yeah, they got the victory today. Your team definitely put a stop to that.
I think my team broke them. I mean, they needed that game, this W today, but. I mean, the way we didn't talk about it last week, but the Cowboys. I mean, that game that we won last week against the Saints, it should have been a much bigger victory for us than what it was. Dak Prescott kept them in the game, just like he kept the Eagles in the game today, but we'll get to that later. But man, we shut Drew Brees up. I mean, he looked like he was a rookie out there.
Yeah.
They have a chance to tie the game. He throws a bad interception. I mean, our defense is good, but the way we played last week, and I think it just kind of rattled their confidence because they were going on a one-loss team. I think they lost the first game of the season, and they've been on a roll too. And this game looked like they were going to lose. They were down at the beginning, and then they kind of clawed their way back. But
one thing about that game, and you noticed it too, the no call on Alvin Kamara. The helmet to helmet.
Come on.
Come on. No, come on.
That
was
Dak Prescott, the very next series, got a face mask that we had to, and they didn't call that either.
Oh, yes, they did. That was the one where he got hit in the face.
They called later on he had a face mask, and they missed that call. And then they got us on an offsides that was not an offside. I mean, that whole game was bad play calling.
And that was supposed to be the best officiating crew.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure a lot of those people got talks because there was a lot of bad play calling. A lot of bad officiating in that game.
So were you guys the hauling home to Ronda Rousey? Like, was that the kick in the head to the Saints?
I don't know, but if we win the Super Bowl, maybe we can say that, and the Saints totally
win
fall
the Super
hard.
Bowl, buddy.
Exactly. I don't know if it's that quiet of an upset, but I mean, it was up there. It's up there for the upsets, and again, because it was not just an upset; it was a beatdown. So I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell.
Well, let's talk about your game today. You had a very important game. The Eagles were one game back of you. And if they won, they would have had, I guess, the division lead, right?
Yeah, because they would have the better division record.
Yeah, so
we each had one.
You had a very crucial game today and went into overtime. But let's talk about your new wide receiver, and Amari Cooper. Ever since he's gotten there, the dude has been nothing but fire.
I remember speaking to my brother when this trade happened, and we, like many Cowboy fans, were upset because Cooper had a great rookie season, and he's just kind of been downhill, and we're like, did we really just give up a first-round draft pick for this guy? But now I can say Jerry got this right. I don't say this very often, but Jerry got this one right, and ever since we had this guy, our offense has just come to life. Yeah. I mean, if Dak can just protect the ball and not be a bum, his slants and his routes, he's quick, and you're like, man, this is the Amari Cooper of old that we're used to seeing for the Raiders when he was dominating. And it's just like the second win for him. And again, he's only 24 years old. He's a young guy. He's not on the end of his career. He's just kind of getting going here. And it's been the spark that we need. And my goodness, these last few games have been, fantasy owners have been celebrating about how good he's been. And today was no different. When you have 217 yards, 217 yards, 3 touchdowns, the game-winning touchdown, which was off a tip, another bad throw that we got lucky. He just had a game. It's not the Amari Cooper from the Raiders last year dropping passes and 40 yards with 2 drops. This guy has just been. If he would have been at the Cowboys all season, he may be up there for offensive MVP. How great he's playing these last few games. So I'm sure he's been very happy about it. All
right. Well, it's time to get to our second caller of the night. She was part of the ABQ Sports Crew for a little while. She helped us on Ladies' Night. Now on the phone with us is a very special guest. It is Nikki. Nikki, how have you been, young lady?
Hey, Josh. Hey, Adam. What's going on, guys?
Adam's not here. This is Elijah, Nikki.
Adam. Oh, I thought Adam was on with us, too.
No, Adam had a Christmas party to go to, so he found out a little bit more important. But it's me and Elijah tonight. And
what up, Elijah? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you? Long time no talk.
I know. It's been a while, guys. I miss y'all.
We miss you too, Nikki. We had some fun nights with you. And for those of you that don't know, Nikki came in because, when I brought her in, we kind of needed we wanted a female's perspective on sports. And there was nobody I knew better that knew sports than Nikki. And she's also a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. And she rocked the Buccaneers gear every time she came to the show. And she was ready. And Nikki, how are you feeling about your Buccaneers this year?
Ooh.
So it's really interesting, and maybe my perspective is not very, I don't know, it's not that hyped up for, radio or whatever, but this season I've really changed my perspective on how I approach the season, the team, and doing things like, I've noticed that never in my life will I divorce myself from this team because this team is in my blood, and you guys know this better than anybody. But I kind of decided that I wasn't going to have expectations on this season. I was getting a little bit tired of my fan base being so divided over every tiny little thing that was happening, to the point where it was like fans fighting against fans, and that's just not like what I love about being a sports fan, is that collectivism and that camaraderie, and having that understanding with each other, that feeling of like, you get me, what I mean, especially as a Bucks fan. We're out here, there's not many of us, so I kind of just got over like following every tiny little detail and freaking out about things that like I can't control either way. And so I went into the season completely with zero expectations. No expectations on quarterback play, team records. There's sometimes where you look at your schedule and you say, well, that should be a win, that should be a loss. Like, I didn't even do that, whether we were playing the Browns or the Patriots. And what I wanted for this season was for every game I got to watch to be fun and competitive. Whether we lost, we're not getting blown out, it was an entertaining game, and it's kind of like I said, it's not a very flashy perspective, but I found a lot of peace with it, which is good.
Yeah.
And I'm not as like stressed out. So like I go into every game just being happy that I have football on the TV and that I can hang out with Bucks fans, or go to games and travel and experience the different fan cultures. So in terms of like really breaking down things to the minimal, every tiny detail that I used to, like, I just have stopped doing that.
Right.
And my fandom has kind of changed in that way. So it's actually given me some peace and some serenity in being a Bucks fan, because it is tough. Yeah. They still drive me crazy here and there, but
that's what every team is supposed to do.
It's I'm not pissed off after every game to the point where I can't sleep, or I'm so upset that I'm crying, and it's sometimes I've looked at games that we lost and I'm like, yeah, but that was an entertaining game, I had fun watching that, and so that's kind of like I say, things have changed a little bit for me with the way I express my fandom, but it's been a roller coaster of a season for us. So I'm still on the roller coaster. It's just a little bit different.
So Nikki, it's our 6th birthday. You helped us, like, I think it was like year 2 or 3 that you were with us. Do you remember when I asked you to be part of this? Do you still remember that?
Yeah, I do. I remember that one of the first conversations that I had with you was at a restaurant, and I knew your ex at the time, and we just got to talking football in general, and we just clicked so well. And then when you came at me, you're like, hey, we really need somebody like you, and I was so excited at the time. I love all of you guys, so I'm glad that we can still keep in touch, and that you asked me to be on for the birthday show, because I had a lot of good times with you guys.
Bring up one of your favorite memories, because Mundo was on earlier and he brought up one of his. Do you have one with us?
A favorite memory. I did like when we did like the ladies versus men, and I think we beat you. I think the women won the first one that we did, and I can't remember I think the second one we lost. I don't remember, but those are just fun because it was like a friendly, competitive thing. I don't know, it was just cool. I really enjoyed those nights of sitting all around with Adam and Jen and Ashley at the time, and I always liked watching you guys fight with each other about your own teams, and it was, I don't know, you guys are just fun.
Yeah. And you brought your own spark to the show too. I remember you getting into some heated conversation, especially when it came to basketball and when people would make fun of your Lakers. Because at the time, Izzy was a huge Heat fan, because he follows LeBron wherever he goes. So I remember you getting into it. Everybody got into it with Izzy for some reason.
Because he liked being the bad guy. He loved being the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Izzy's not shy about his opinions.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, it was good. It was good times.
So good news for you. I heard there's a little Buccaneer fan on the way.
There is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Currently just in the beginning of my 7th month, so we're expecting a little baby boy at the end of February.
Congratulations,
that is
Nikki.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks guys. It's an exciting and nerve-wracking experience, but it's exciting. It's It's more good than bad for sure.
Well, you're going to have to show us pictures and make sure that you do not put that kid in a San Jose Shark shirt, and make sure it's. Because I think that's what me and you butted heads about. I'm a Ducks fan and you're a Sharks fan, so it's like. Yeah, I miss those heated rivalries with you.
I do too, because I'm so tired of my Sharks losing constantly. It's like every game that we watch or I check up on the score, it's like, oh, we're up 3-0. Oh, we lost 8-3. I'm so tired of it.
All right, Nikki. Well, we got to continue with the show, but we miss you. We thank you for calling in, and like we told Mundo, the door is always open for you. So whenever you're ready to come back, just let us know.
Yeah, thanks a lot, you guys. And when you get Adam back, tell him I said hello. Elijah, it was great to talk with you again.
Absolutely.
Josh, you got me anytime you want. So
awesome.
Have a great show, guys, and keep in touch.
All right,
Thank
Nikki.
you.
Bye, Nikki.
Go Bucks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh man, and Nikki did bring flair to the show. Like we didn't know a female that knew this much football as much as Nikki did.
So I'm going to tell a quick story since we're in story mode here. So when we first started the show, we were trying to get our identity. We had kind of the core members. We were trying to get people. I mean, Nish kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Creo had this habit of just inviting anybody to the show, right? He would find some homeless guy holding a sign in the street who was wearing a jersey. Hey, come on the show. And I was like, all right. And I remember he brought Nikki to the show, and it was kind of just like, who is this person, right? No one even knew who she was.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, okay, here's, and this may sound a little sexist, not where I'm going with it. It's like, okay, here comes a girl. She's a huge Buccaneer fan. She must not know anything about football because who's a Buccaneer fan? That's number one thing. But she came in and she had spunk. She knew her stuff, and it was just like, oh wow, like she knows it. She was ready to fight for her team, fight for her whatever sport it was. But it was like, man, like. She did bring this flair, and it was like, oh, wow, like I like having her on the show because she's not just somebody who's just going to come and say, yeah, my team is good, or go Bucks. It was like, no, here's why go Bucks. She knew her stuff, and if for those who know her, I wouldn't even say she's a Buccaneer, like that's just, it's a lifestyle for her. It's not.
She goes to the games.
It's a lifestyle for her. Anytime she travels, she does stuff. I mean, it's like, that Buccaneer flag is like everywhere, everywhere. I mean, she is a Buccaneer phenom, so she loves that team, and so thanks for calling in, Nikki. It's good to hear from you, and man, it's
she
crazy.
led the girls team to a victory. I remember that.
We used to get stats when we had Blog Talk. We'd get stats of how many people listened. We get that now, and I remember that girls show or whatever you had it.
The ladies' night.
Sorry. I remember, like, we had our stats, and we'd have some good ones, some bad ones, and that one was, like, way up here. It was like, wow, that was more views, more comments on Facebook. It was just, that was our best show when it came to viewership, and it was like, it just really showed it, and Nikki led the charge for the females, and they won that show, that's for sure.
I'm thinking, we need another ladies' night.
Yeah. We'll get Jen and Aaron and
Nikki again, and then remember Camille was part of that too. And Noel's now wife. I think it was just her girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Now it's his wife, and they have a beautiful child now. So the crew is all grown up. I think I'm the only one.
You still have us.
All right, but we got to move on. We got to do our picks real quick. We're not doing crew versus quarter this week. We're just going to take our picks.
Okay.
The crew from the last week, actually, the previous week, we didn't have a show last week, but the previous week from that, we picked our picks. The quarter actually beat us. The quarter was 10-6. Elijah and I were 9-7, and Nish was 8-8. So the quarter getting the victory. But now we're just me and Elijah are gonna do our picks. And then we got to get to a new segment that we have called Santa's List. And what we're gonna do is we pick 4 teams of our own, and we're gonna be acting as if we're the team and asking Santa what we want for Christmas, because we are in the Christmas season, and it'll be like a Christmas list. But first, let's go into the Thursday night football game. This game is huge in terms of AFC West standings, and it's going to be the Chargers and the Chiefs in Kansas City. Great way to start Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, we have this year we had one of the best Thursday night football games kind of in the history of Thursday night football, which has traditionally been pretty bad games, and now we're getting another one that's going to be a really, really interesting game. You got Mundo's Chargers against the hot Chiefs right now, but again, a Kareem Hunt-less Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if you're asking for my pick on this one, anytime it's a toss-up, I have to go with the home team. It's just Arrowhead Stadium's always been a stadium that's known for being loud, right? They break the record all the time for loudest stadiums, and I'm gonna just have to go with the home team simply because it's the home team.
I think what I'm with the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers is I think the one discussion that we had a couple weeks ago is they've beaten winless teams, like the teams that are below 500. Like they haven't beaten anybody with a winning record. And then again today, they squeaked by the Cincinnati Bengals. So this will be a huge test of the LA Chargers if they can get by Kansas City. I think they already played Kansas City once and got beat up pretty bad. But it was just, it showed you that is this Charger team for real? Can they hang in the playoffs? This will be our revealing if the Chargers are going to be somebody in the playoffs. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs as well. The next one, we have the Texans heading to East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the Jets.
Next. Sorry, Nish.
Sorry, Nish. If Adam was here, I can hear, guys, why not? Sam Darnold's the future. Whatever. I got something for that later. Texans, I got to take the Texans. I think they'll be furious with a loss, and they're going to take it out on the Jets. The next one could be a possibility. These are Saturday games. The Texans and Jets is a Saturday game. And another Saturday game is Cleveland is rolling into the Mile High City to take on the Denver Broncos. Now, here's my pick, and you're going to be shocked with me. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns. The reason why, Denver has too many people on the injured reserve list. We lost Emmanuel Sanders. We don't have two of our tight ends. We lost Chris Harris. We lost Brandon Marshall. Broncos lost everybody.
You have two teams kind of in the bottom third tier. Yeah, you have the four tiers. They're in the bottom three. They're not the bad ones, but they're pretty bad. And here's the Browns' trajectory, and here are the Broncos' trajectory.
When Emmanuel Sanders went down and Chris Harris went down,
the Browns are playing really. I mean, they still kind of have the nothing to lose because I think most people had them as 3 wins this year tops, right?
Yeah.
Remember, this is the Browns, the winless Browns, and they've been 5 wins. They should have 6 with that stupid tie. I'm actually going to have to agree with you, so I'm not very shocked, and I think that Baker's going to have another win in this one. They may be 500. Well, I guess they can't be 500, but around 500 this year.
They can go to, what are they now, 5-7-1?
Yeah.
So I think they can be 6-7-1 after beating Denver. Adam just let us know that he's at dinner, but he snuck in to remind me that Denver lost to the 49ers.
They did lose to the 49ers today.
Hey, who gave Cleveland their first win in over 2 years? Shut up, Nish. You're not even here.
Who won the head-to-head battle between the Jets and the Broncos?
Shut up. Moving on. If you guys want to see my punishment, what happened, just head to our YouTube page. Cardinals at the Falcons. This starts the Sunday game. So you have the Battle of the Birds, but the dying birds, and if you had to say. I think the only thing celebrating in Atlanta is the MLS team. And
getting their first championship and
that's more of a sellout crowd than the football stadium, so you know something's wrong in Atlanta.
I don't know what they're gonna do because they're just bad. They're bad. It sucks that the Cowboys lost to them. But anyways, the Battle of the Birds. But I think Atlanta's probably gonna get their 5th win, and this probably be the last win of the season for them.
Yeah.
They're just abysmal.
Garbage.
They're just an abysmal team. But the Cardinals are the Cardinals, and they've been bad all year.
So the next one, we head to Cincinnati where the Bengals will host the Raiders.
This is actually going to be another interesting one, right? The Bengals, we don't really kind of know what's going on with them.
Well, they have Jeff Driscoll now as quarterback. And the Raiders getting a shocking win over Pittsburgh today.
What are the Raiders doing, right?
You're ruining your first...
We're trying to tank, right? Raider fans, we're trying to tank, and Gruden does not know when to win and when to lose. All right, you already proved that you can't win, so now let's just maybe get some good draft picks, and now he's starting to win.
Well, the Niners won today, too, so I think the draft stock stays the same as it is.
I don't know what's going on. I guess, it keeps the integrity of the game, right? I guess nobody's tanking because I don't know what. If they are trying to tank, then they're doing a very bad job at that, too. So.
All right, then we didn't take our picks on that one. I'm going to take... I will never take Oakland, so I'm taking the Bengals on this one.
Gosh, I'm going to have to take the Bengals. Again, the home team, 2 garbage teams. I'll take the home team.
Next one, the Dolphins head to Minnesota to take on the Vikings.
Dolphins coming a big win, the Miracle Miami, but they will not win next week against the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm taking the Vikings as well. The next one, this one's going to be good. Dallas heading to Indianapolis to take on the Colts.
Colts kind of hot. Dallas even hotter. Right now, according to the matchup prediction by ESPN, they have the Indy as a 58.4% chance to win. For those of you who are math, that's above 50%. I'm kind of surprised about that. I don't know what Vegas has right now. I'm guessing it's in Lucas Oil Field. Looks like the stat line's not out on this one yet. I'm going to take the Cowboys. They don't. If you don't have a run defense, you're going to allow our secondary and our linebackers, who are probably the fastest linebackers in the league right now.
Who's that guy you guys have?
Here we go. Boise State.
Van Der Esch, right?
Yeah,
Rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year.
Possibly, we shall see. But I'm going to have to go with my Cowboys against the Colts.
It is written in the ABQ Sports Crew Bible that you never go for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys because I'm going to try the Carrillo maneuver on this one. And
here we go.
I got to take the Carrillo maneuver and take the Cowboys.
Something to watch out, too. Zach Martin went down today. That's going to be a difference maker. That's our all-pro lineman for the offensive line. So hopefully he's okay because, man, we already have a thin line to begin with.
Next one is the Buccaneers heading to Baltimore to face the Ravens. Is this one
I think so. I mean, they have to be happy in Baltimore about their quarterback,
They're in
right?
the playoffs.
They have to be happy. And where's Joe going to go next year? That's a topic for conversation at the end of this season.
Could we see him in New York? Could we see him in Jacksonville?
Probably Jacksonville more than New York. I think New York's going to try to go young. But, yep, that's going to be another topic for another day.
All right, the next one, we got the Bills and the Lions in Buffalo. Oh, man.
Yeah,
I think I have to take the Bills. Actually do pretty decent at home. But man,
I think I'm going to go with the Bills because I have a feeling that
Bill backers, this one's for you.
Hopefully there's bad weather. I love snow. We haven't had a good snow game this year, and maybe we'll get some snow there, right? Who knows? I'm gonna go with the Bills as well.
All right, the next one, division rivalry game between the Packers and the Bears. Sorry, I almost said Bills. Packers and Bears. Bears.
Yeah, Bears. Packers coming off their first win with their new coach, firing their coach, their Super Bowl winning coach mid-season. I don't like the call. Again, you guys know me already. Aaron Rodgers gets no blame. Every time they lose a game, it's someone else's fault. It's never his fault. But they won today with their new coach, but the next week he will get his first loss of the season.
Yep.
Bears all the way.
So that one's for you, Jordan. The next one, kind of a garbage game if you guys want to watch. It'll be the third-string quarterback, Josh Johnson and the Redskins going against who? I don't even know who the backup for Jacksonville is. It'll be the Jaguars and Redskins in Jacksonville, and I could see the final being 6-3 in this game.
Yeah.
Because I doubt they're going to start Mark Sanchez again. He was god-awful today.
Like 6 attempts and 2 of them were interceptions?
Yeah, they just announced that Josh Johnson is in line to start for the...
As they should be. They will not... He had a good game today when he came in, but the Jaguars, that's a good defense. Offense is garbage, complete and utter garbage, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ramsey gets about 2 picks that next game. I'm going to have to go with Jacksonville, but this is definitely the bottom of the barrel matchup here. Bottom of the barrel.
9-6 Jaguars.
Yeah, I would not spend any time watching that game because that's going to be a snooze fest.
Next one, the Tennessee Titans head to East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the Giants.
You know what? The Giants had, again,
playing some football
the
right
Redskins were kind of down and out. So, that was a pretty one-sided match today. But again, the Titans are a team that we've been trying to figure out all season. Is this team good or are they not good? But I'm going to have to take the Giants on this. I think they're going to start streaking, and it's just kind of one of those things that the NFC East is just close enough that if they keep winning, right, they're still going to kind of be in the rearview mirror of the Cowboys and even the Eagles at this point. So I'm going to have to take the Giants on this one.
All right, I'm going to take the Giants as well on this one. I don't know who the Titans are for sure. Right? I'm not
Nobody
quite sure.
does.
The next one is another rivalry game between the Seahawks and the 49ers in San Francisco. Last time these two teams played, it was a pretty close game. But I think Russell Wilson's got this one.
The Seahawks have been playing really good. They're going to get that wild card spot.
Seahawks. Next one is one that we've been looking forward to since last year and how it ended in a very controversial way. The Patriots head to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. So, man, this one might actually be the game of the week to watch.
I'm sure it is going to be the game of the week. And if the Steelers would have won today like they should have won today,
it would have been
even better and more exciting pre-game matchup, right? There had been a lot to talk about, right? You have these two offensive juggernauts. You know what?
Conner was gone today. I think that's what it was. I think James Conner was gone today.
Oh yes, because their touchdowns were a bunch of randos. So, you know what? I'm gonna have to again. I do think the Patriots are a better team than the Steelers, but again, the home field advantage I think is gonna help.
And Conner will be back.
Ben went out though, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I don't know what the deal is, but I think I just saw Schefter put that Ben's gonna be is expected to play. If Ben plays, then I'm gonna have to give it to the home team. But yeah, it should be a pretty offensive juggernaut battle, which is what we like to see. Tons of offense.
I don't know who to go for. I have to take the Patriots. I hate saying that word.
Did you just spit there?
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit saying that. But the next one, Sunday Night Football next week, is the Eagles heading to L.A. Remember last year, this is where Carson Wentz went down for the season, and he pretty much was never the same after that. This one's a next for me, and I am taking the Rams.
Yeah, I'm in. The Eagles today, the Cowboys had 29 points today. Dak Prescott had 23 for the Eagles. Carson Wentz was pretty much, their offense was abysmal today. Yeah. Dak Prescott kept the Eagles. Dak was their best player today with his fumbles and his interception because their offense was pretty much non-existent. The Rams are good. The Rams are going to pretty much, I think, going to just dominate that game. Next
is the last one, and it will be a Monday Night Football matchup in Charlotte, North Carolina, when the Saints come marching in, and they'll be taking on the Panthers.
Oh, my Panthers. The Saints go marching in, right? Yeah. The Panthers. You start off 6-2.
Christian McCaffrey's been so good. And
they've been so bad. You start off at 6-2, now you're 6-7, and your season's pretty much done after today. They had a huge snowstorm in Charlotte, so it's a good thing that they had an away game because that would have been a snowball. But the weather's ugly there, and the team is ugly there. My old city that I lived in, man, they don't know what's going on there because, my goodness, they are bad. For having such a great start, they are bad right now. So we'll see if Ron Rivera's on the hot seat. I would not be surprised.
Do you think so?
I mean, come on. How mediocre, how many seasons of mediocrity do you have to go to before you realize, maybe this isn't the case? We shall see.
Let's see here. So that's going to do it for the pick'ems. And, I didn't pick mine. I have to take the Saints at home or on the road. I don't think Charlotte's going to be able to hang in. And I think the Panthers are, I love McCaffrey. He's the son of the great Ed McCaffrey in Denver.
The great Ed McCaffrey. Huh?
Hey, wow. That guy. That was a white boy receiver that could play, okay?
Man, the great Ed McCaffrey. I don't know if anybody outside of Denver calls him the great Ed McCaffrey, but yes, it is his son.
Cut me some slack here. All right, so we're going to move on to a new segment since we don't have Adam here. We can't play a game. So what we did is I texted Elijah saying, come up with 4 teams, and you got to pretend that you're writing a Christmas list to Santa of what you want for Christmas. And I'm going to start it off. So I'm going to pretend that I'm going to say the best one for last on mine. I'm going to pretend that I'm the Cincinnati Bengals. Dear Santa, I want a new coach. They need a new coach. You can't have Marvin Lewis there in Cincinnati anymore. How many losing seasons is it going to take to fire this guy? Apparently not any, because they kept him there after all this time, and he's probably going to stay there more.
We're going to come, they call it Black Monday when they fire all the coaches.
No.
After the season, it's going to be Marvin Lewis signs a 2-year extension, right? That 2-year extension that he seems to get every year when they lose first round in the playoffs. That's one team that, coming from someone who wants to get rid of Jason Garrett, I don't understand that logic at all. They keep giving that guy opportunity after opportunity.
All right, who are you writing your Christmas list to? What team is writing?
I'm going to pick. I'm going with the NFC East, right? Because that's my division, and I'm going to start.
Who's the first team?
I'm going to start from the bottom of the NFC East right now.
So you got to write to Santa. You got to tell us what team you are.
It's going to be right now. I'm going to actually go with who I think is the worst team in the NFC East. It's going to be the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
And they're going to say, "Dear Santa, please just give us some good luck." Right? Coming into the season, they had no idea what they're going to do. They got Alex Smith, right, who is traditionally one of the most – he's a good quarterback, but he's a boring quarterback. Doesn't throw deep, right? Doesn't do anything. He comes in. They start off the season hot.
They were great.
Hot.
Alex Smith.
I think they were 6-2 as well. NFC East is a garbage division, and they were running away with it. And then Alex Smith has his
he had a tough break.
Joe ties.
I feel bad for him because did you hear that? Like he has an infection in his leg.
He's probably not coming back. They had a winning season and a good chance with Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson. Who would have thought that? So they're saying, please, Santa, just give us some good luck. They're going to need a quarterback because Alex Smith ain't coming back. At least at the beginning of the season. So they're saying, please give us a lucky quarterback in this era of Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, even Sam Darnold. We have these young guys. Please give us one of those guys because it's having some tough times for them. Muno just wrote in. He said Marvin Lewis must have some serious blackmail material on Cincinnati.
That is true.
Very
probably
theory, because no one knows why he still has a job.
My next one is going to be the Detroit Lions, and I'm going to say, Dear Santa, please, can we just have one winning season? Like, I feel sorry for Matthew Stafford. He's such a great talent, a good quarterback, but he's had such crappy talent around him. I mean, Megatron left because they couldn't get him any offensive weapons, and Megatron was on the top of his game when he retired, and I feel so bad for Detroit. I think that's a very cursed team. They used to win all the time before the NFL. They were in the 50s winning championships. But then when more teams started coming to the NFL, they kind of got kicked to the curb. So the Detroit Lions are writing Santa going, please, Santa, can we just have a winning season? Like, that's all they're asking for is a winning season. So
I don't know. Again, I'm a Matt Stafford fan, too, and I just don't know what their fans think. They lost, Calvin Johnson, lost Golden Tate. I don't know what they have going on over there. It's not a whole lot, that's for sure.
Yeah. So who's your next one you're writing to?
I'm going to actually go with the New York Giants. They're saying, Dear Santa, please give us a quarterback, right? It's time to end the Eli Manning era who got them 2 Super Bowls, right? You cannot complain about Eli Manning because I don't think anybody predicted 2 Super Bowls, especially against Tom Brady.
Yep.
He's the Tom Brady killer. And but they're saying, please, we have a young running back who is really talented, right? He's just a little bit less than Ezekiel Elliott. And then they have Odell Beckham, who's one of the fastest, greatest receivers in our generation right now. So they're saying, we have the weapons. We just need kind of somebody who can lead the charge here. And Eli Manning, it's time to end his tenure. It's probably time to end his career. I think don't end it, like some of these guys who are just going to be bad. He ended off in a good spot. He had a good career. I think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. People are going to probably disagree with me, but I think he's a Hall of Famer. So they're saying, please, Santa, give us a nice young quarterback because we need a quarterback who's going to lead this team in the upcoming years with all these young guys around us.
All right, my next one is actually a playoff contender. I am writing as the Kansas City Chiefs. Dear Santa, please get us a playoff victory. Now without Kareem Hunt, we're going to see what this team is all about. Is this going to be the same old Andy Reid? Are we going to be seeing the one-and-done Kansas City Chiefs? We saw today that they couldn't really handle the Baltimore Ravens. They were usually running the ball, and imagine Kareem Hunt being in there today. I think they would have not even gotten to overtime with Baltimore. I think it would have been a more serious win. So we'll see now without Kareem Hunt, without their main running attack, can Patrick Mahomes put this team on his back and lead him to a victory? Because now one of his best probably his best weapon is gone. So the Chiefs are writing to Santa, please, since we made the playoffs today, can we have a playoff victory?
Yep. And again, Patrick Mahomes, you see that no-look passing game. Apparently, people were complaining and saying quarterbacks do it all the time. I've never seen a quarterback look one way, give the basketball assist. It was amazing. Yeah. That guy's just so fun to watch. So fun to watch.
Please give us a playoff victory today.
Frog voice. All right, I'm going to go next with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. What are they writing, Santa?
They're saying 2 things. Please, Santa, help with this hangover because, man, that hangover is hurting them.
Yep.
They have talked about the Super Bowl hangover. There's been some bad hangovers. This probably can go down as one of them. They're also saying, please, Santa, give us a defense. Give us no injuries. Help us with this defense because they have a defense, a decent offensive team. However, Carson Wentz is holding up his silver medal in the overrated quarterback podium here, only next to Aaron Rodgers with the gold medal, because he's another guy that's good and incredibly overrated, right? He didn't even win the Super Bowl for them last year. But they need right now is health to get a defense because right now you can't, without having a defense, you're not going to have an offense if your offense is just kind of, you're just kind of sliding through it. They're done for the year. They should probably try to get some draft picks as well. The guy talking trash about the Cowboys too, leading up to this. I mean, come on, be smart about this. But they need some Tylenol because they got to get over the Super Bowl hangover because they are hurting over this hangover.
And my last one is going to be from my good buddy Adam Nish. Dear Santa, I'm writing as the New York Football Jets. Please bring us a franchise quarterback.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
Adam is so in love with Sam Darnold. Okay, this guy is. It's Izzy to LeBron. This is how much Adam loves Sam Darnold. USC quarterbacks are trash.
That is true.
Name a quarter. I think Carson Palmer is the only one that has had successful years as an NFL quarterback. Let's take a look at some of these USC quarterbacks that have gone into the NFL. Okay, the latest one, Matt Barkley. Okay, the last one after that, Matt Castle. Okay, and Carson Palmer being the other one, and then Matt Leinart. Sam Darnold, you are on that list as a garbage quarterback from USC. You are joining the ranks of Alabama when it comes to quarterbacks. Name an Alabama quarterback that's been successful. Not since the 70s, and I think that was the last Jets quarterback. That was good, and I think that was Joe Namath who went out. I'm not too sure, but please, Santa, for the New York Jets, please write and bring us a franchise quarterback because Sam Darnold is not the answer. And he is, okay. He had, according to Adam, we talked to him before the show. He had a good game. It's because of him we won that football. You beat the Bills, man. Yes, brag all you want about me losing to the 49ers today, but you barely beat the Bills, man. Come on.
Win's a win.
And this guy, he is not your future.
He's the future.
So, no, you have a USC quarterback. You are cursed with the USC quarterback, and you are going nowhere. So the Jets are writing Santa, and another thing they're writing Santa is please bring us an offensive line because, maybe he could be good, but...
New coach has to be there.
I think that's what Adam would say, new coach. But the Jets need a new franchise quarterback. And Elijah, what's your Santa list for the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, man, how it can go.
Where do we start?
Where do we start? First one, please, dear Santa, please let Zach Martin be okay because we're trending up. We need all the help we can get on this offensive line. We lost Travis Frederick, one of our other Pro Bowlers, for some disease, right? I don't even know what's even happening with that guy. But we're saying, please, Santa, help us to win a playoff game first. Second, help us to win a Super Bowl. Oh my God, it would be so nice to shut up the fans. And if we do not get the Super Bowl, it has to be Super Bowl or bust for Jason Garrett. Because if that's the case, please Santa, get rid of Jason Garrett because the Clapper is not doing it for us anymore. Although very interesting, just real quick, I remember Nish asked me about would I get rid of Dak Prescott or Jason Garrett, and now with this new offensive team, we've been kind of clicking and. Dak Prescott, these last 2 games have been our Achilles heel, so I'm kind of like, maybe Jason Garrett isn't that bad. It's like, no, don't fall into that trap. I do that every year. No, Jason Garrett, he has to go, and if he wins Super Bowl, extend his contract. We'll give him the old Marvin Lewis 2-year deal. But if we don't do good in the playoffs, then we have to get rid of him because again, we can't deal with this mediocrity because we have a good team right now and a good young team right now. So please, Santa. Give me a Super Bowl. My Dodgers lost 2 years in a row.
And your Sounders lost in the
championship? My Sounders lost. I very rarely, unless it's soccer, I don't see any of my teams win anything.
I'm sorry.
I need a winning franchise, please. My wife rags me all the time with the teams I pick. Please, let this be the year.
Jen gets on.
So she hates any team except for my team is really her slogan. So.
Wasn't she a Jets fan at one time?
She was a butt fumble Mark Sanchez fan, which is talk about not knowing anything about football, right? Going back to the garbage quarterbacks from USC.
All right, so that was our new segment, Dear Santa, please bring me. And if you guys liked it, let us know because we'd like to see Adam's opinions next week. When he comes back though next week, we're gonna give away either a Xbox or a PlayStation year membership. So in order to get that, you gotta make sure that you have people subscribe to our page on YouTube, on Facebook, and when they do, make sure you put in the comments on our Facebook that this person subscribed, and you will get an automatic entry because we got to give away tonight this beautiful UE Wonderboom speaker. This is a Bluetooth speaker. It blasts pretty loudly. I know Adam had one around here for a while. So if you guys are a fan of speakers, and I do have the name of the person here, so I got to bring it up. I had her on our list. She liked our YouTube page, and she put out a comment on there, so I don't know where she went. Oh, here it is. Her name is Kyra Nito. Kyra Nito, you are the winner, and I will be sending you a message on our Facebook page. You are the winner of this UE Wonderboom. If you do not live here in Albuquerque, please let me know your address, and we will ship this out to you. But it's a beautiful speaker. I like this thing.
Waterproof as well.
Waterproof, yeah, so you can take it and... When it gets warmer.
I don't know why you would put it in the water anyway.
Shower.
But you can.
Shower. If you want to blast some music when you're taking a shower.
Or just leave it on the outside of the shower.
So congratulations, Kyra. You are the winner of the UE Wonderboom speaker. And then we also, I don't know where it went, but we have a $30 Netflix gift card. So I don't know. I think he got knocked down and sent somewhere. But $30 gift card to Netflix. And the winner of that one is going to be, and this wasn't a setup, but she's been setting she's been liking our posts. She's been sharing them. So it's actually Adam's sister-in-law. She followed the rules, guys. We opened it up to friends and family.
Nepotism.
So Desiree Nish, you are the winner of our $30 Netflix gift card. So please, I know for sure you don't live here in Albuquerque, so we'll have to send that to you. So please message us and your address, and I'll be happy to send that $30 Netflix. So you don't have to pay your membership for, now it's up to $15. So You don't have to pay your membership for
It's up to 15
bucks now.
When's Disney Plus will come out so we can get rid of Netflix?
So you are the winner of 2 free months membership of Netflix. So congratulations to both of you guys. Well, please let us know how we can get this to you. I know, of course, Desiree living in Colorado. We'll have to send that to her. But Kyra,
send her the code.
Yeah, if you're here, please let us know how we can get this to you. And next week, guys, like I said, either a PlayStation year-long membership or an Xbox year-long membership. So for all you gamers out there, let us know. But it's now that time of the show where, I know we're a little bit over, but we have to. It's our birthday show. It is time for final headlines. And this part of the show, we talk about something in the world of sports that has been happening or will be happening. And of course, we always start with Mr. Elijah. So
this is probably the first time that I've ever said this, but shout out to New Mexico State, right? Yeah, you heard that right. New Mexico State, right? They beat our Lobos pretty one-sided,
about
right? Basketball. Sorry, I should probably do that. Yeah, basketball, right? For those who don't know, UNM stole New Mexico State's coach, and we have not been able to beat them ever since that. So there's a little curse going on there, apparently. But New Mexico State going to play against Kansas, number 2 in the nation, thinking it's going to be a nice tune-up game. No, they actually almost won the game. They lost by 3 points. They were ahead the majority of the game. I wish they would have won, even though I don't root for them. But when it comes to a game like that would have been a huge upset. But shout out to them for, dogging us really, really easily and then taking on Kansas and almost winning against the number 2 team in the nation. So they're right now, they're trajectorying up, and we're kind of, I don't know how our season's going to be. We're not looking too hot right now with our 2-game losing streak with St. Mary's and State. But shout out to New Mexico State. You're not going to hear me say that very often, but they played really well. So
I know, I had to check twice. So you're saying go Aggies, so it's like...
I did not say go Aggies. I said shout out to them.
All right, so mine is going to be, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is bowl season, guys. Bowl season is underway starting next Saturday. I think the Mexico Bowl is actually the one that's kicking it off.
Last year with the Gildan sponsors. So.
Yeah, so Gildan, or is it this year Gildan again?
Yeah, this will be the last year. Yep.
So it'll be North Texas starting it off, going against Utah State. But it's awesome to see bowl games because you see some of the most important, like, they may be like no-name bowl games like the Potato Bowl or something like that, but they're fun to watch because you get some close games and you get some entertaining ones, and then it leads up to the big Final Four. And, of course, we're going to have Alabama going against Oklahoma, and then we have Notre Dame going against Clemson. It's probably going to be a Clemson-Alabama championship. But I enjoy the bowl games. The one I'm really looking forward to watching, it's not Boise State because they're playing a garbage bowl game. I'm looking forward to Georgia playing Texas. I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. Also, I can't wait to see Ohio State run the floor against Washington. Yeah, that game's not going to be even close.
I don't know about Washington.
In the Rose Bowl. So if you guys are a fan of college, I want to do a bowl pick'em challenge. So if you guys are interested, please let me know. We'd love to do an ABQ Sports Crew bowl pick'em challenge and give away some more prizes. So if you guys are interested, please let us know that you guys want to play, and then we'll pick the best winner of the bowl games. And I'll set up a link tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, please let us know. And we would love. You'll face us. I know Elijah. I don't think Adam will do it because he doesn't know anything about college football.
That's a 50-50 shot.
I mean, you pick a winner. And then if you want to be like his sister, because she wins every year in the bowl pick'ems, you just pick the one with the best mascot. And that's how your sister won 2 years in a row.
It's a crapshoot. We all think we know what we're doing, but as you see with Crew versus Quarter, we don't.
We don't.
We just pretend.
Alrighty, guys. And once again, thank you for tuning in. It is our 6th birthday show, and we got to get going because there is a beautiful, delicious-looking cake that I know we want to start digging. Again, thank you to Sandra Garcia for making this. If you guys want to, she does make cakes. She made this one for us. So we got to...
Time to eat. Thank you, Mundo, for calling. Thank you, Nikki, for calling. Thank you, Corey, Izzy, Baca Bros, everybody, LA Rick, everybody who's been on our show, whether it's... please don't do that because they're going to ruin it for me. Everyone who's been on our show, whether it's one time or whether it's a few times, it's been a fun 6 years, and here's to 6 more.
We don't have candles, but, So thank you guys for making ABQ Sports Crew possible. We want to thank Adam and Jen, even though they're not here, and Aaron, they do help when they are here. Jen usually runs the camera, and have you guys noticed I've been having to set the camera and pop it, but they had a meeting.
They let us hang out in their house without them being here, so they trust us.
Dude, should we invite some people over to share this beautiful cake with?
Come on
down, and the address is... Okay, so come on down, guys. Thank you. This is to you guys. You guys made this possible. And happy birthday to ABQ Sports Crew. And we can't wait to see what 2019 has in store for us. We know it's going to be great. And this one's for you guys, so thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We will be back next Sunday when Adam returns. Is December 16th show, so playoffs are going to be starting to get in motion for the NFL. Bowl games, we'll be talking about some bowl games. So we got a lot to talk about next week. But you guys get ready, have a good night, and make sure you get your Christmas shopping. And if you do, please be safe out there. And we will see you next Sunday night right here on ABQ Sports Crew on YouTube. As for me and Elijah, you guys have a good night. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Woo! Cake time.